Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are discussing 10 things that cruise lines don't want you to know.
All right, so jumping right in, the first thing they don't want you to know is that prices are drastically reduced a month before sailing.
Interesting.
Yeah, so, they don't want to go with an empty ship.
Right.
So when they get to about a month out, they will start cutting those costs, cutting the fares, and putting them up on the internet for you to check out. A lot of times you'll see the opposite of this given as advice, and that is mostly coming from travel agents who want you to book with them right away. We are not travel agents. We are just travelers who are seeking out the best possible price, and almost always you're going to get the best deal a month or so before the cruise. Now, you may not get to go if you wait that long because it could sell out, but I wouldn't be too worried about that, especially right now in this climate. You're going to be able to get probably a cabin. And the way you can check that is just go on Travelocity, go on Orbitz, search for cruises that have, that are going within the last month and the next month, and you'll see some pretty low fares.
Yeah, some really good deals.
Next one is DIY shore excursions are much cheaper than the boat.
Yes. A lot of times you'll find, most of the time when we've done it, we do it on every single cruise. When we want to do shore excursions, most of the time you're saving half price and sometimes even more. The only time you would want to do a shore excursion with the ship is if it's time sensitive. You have to be back to the ship by a certain time because that's guaranteed by the cruise line. But other than that, I would just do the shore excursion yourself. They're usually very simple. The attractions are usually pretty close to the port. So why not just do it on your own and save a ton of cash, and you can go on another cruise.
Yeah. Number 3 is that medical emergencies can change the course of the boat. Now, this could mean they have to go back to where you came from. It could mean they have to skip a port and go right to another one. Or you could just stop in the middle of the ocean
and be delayed
to let someone off. So that actually happened on one of our cruises where it was about 1 a.m. in the morning, and we just felt the boat come to a sudden stop, and we were nowhere near land. So we looked at out the balcony, and we saw the Coast Guard pulling up next to the boat, and they were getting someone off for a medical emergency, their luggage and all that stuff too. So just be aware that can change things.
Yeah, definitely.
Next one is that the ship will not wait for you. If you are late.
You will hear them calling out people's names because, of course, they know who's off the boat and who's gotten back on. When they're getting ready to leave, they do call out in case there was some mistake in scanning your card coming in. But just because you hear them calling people's names doesn't mean they're going to sit around and wait for them. They have their protocol of how many times they call out your name, and if you don't answer, they will leave. They're on a very tight schedule. There are other boats whose schedules also are, dependent on this boat as well. So it's really a whole chain of effect if they sit around waiting for everyone who's behind.
Another thing they don't want you to know about is their cancellation policies. And basically, they are pretty strict cancellation policies. If you've given money to them, it is hard to get money back from them. So just keep that in mind when you're paying your deposits and paying your cruise off, that check the cancellation policies. Make sure it's not like a hotel where you can cancel up until the day before. Make sure you know what you're doing and what you've paid and what the procedure is for that. Next one is shore excursions cannot be guaranteed to be safe.
That's right. And we've seen that where it's unfortunate and people have lost their lives on shore excursions through the ship or on their own, and it just it's very unfortunate. But it is something that you have to be aware of. Oftentimes you'll think, oh, I'm on a shore excursion with the cruise line, not going to have a problem, everything's safe, everything's great. But you keep in mind, you're visiting a foreign country generally, and there's really no control over that or over what happens, through natural occurrence.
All right, so if you've only paid a small deposit, you can rebook your cruise later at a lower price sometimes. So if you get the option to pay a $100 deposit or a $99 deposit, do that. Don't pay the whole cruise off front, because if the price drops and before you get on the cruise, you can rebook that cruise, book another cabin, and then just cancel the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you will lose that $100 deposit,
mm-hmm.
but if you've saved $500 rebooking your cruise and you lose a $100 deposit, you're $400 to the good. So
mm-hmm.
the best thing you can do is pay as little money up front and keep your options open for either getting a better room, getting a better price, or getting better deals that they're giving you with it.
Another one is that they don't want you to know that crime does happen on the cruise ship. It's not a utopian society. There are bad people that go on cruises with you, and stuff happens. Stuff goes missing. People get, hurt. So just, use common sense when
mm-hmm.
you're on the boats, and keep your things with you. Don't just leave your things and walk away and go to the bathroom and leave all your things sitting out. Just be smart. And use your regular street smarts for when you're traveling.
Mm-hmm. Next tip is that ports can be canceled.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
This doesn't happen often. Mostly it's for bad weather.
Correct, yes.
And it can usually be mostly when you're going to a port where they would have to tender you, and there's not a pier for them to dock, mm-hmm. because that's very dangerous in high winds.
Yeah, and they will try to replace it with something else, something mm-hmm. comparable that's nearby. But if they're not able to do that, they're just going to add a sea day. And hey, an extra day on the boat, you can't really complain.
Mm-hmm. And the last tip that we have that they don't really want you to know about
mm-hmm.
is that you could go the entire cruise without spending any extra money.
That's exactly right. As a matter of fact, we did that on our very first cruise ever, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say we just had enough to get on the cruise ship, right?
Yeah.
So we didn't have a ton of extra money, and so we were on a ridiculously tight budget, and we didn't spend not one extra penny. No extra drinks, no casino, no specialty meals, nothing,
mm-hmm.
no shore excursions. It was bottom dollar.
Mm-hmm.
We
still did get off the boat and do things,
mm-hmm.
but we just walked everywhere, and it was like a mile walk, which really isn't that bad.
Yeah.
And we saw the buses with the people from the cruise passing us, and they got there 20 minutes ahead of us, but they paid $50, $60 a piece to do that. So if you want to, everything that you're going to do that they're
mm-hmm.
offering you for a fee, you can usually get for free. So just keep that in mind, that you don't have to spend a ton of money once you get on if you don't want to, and you can put that towards a future cruise. Mm-hmm. Well, we hope these tips have been helpful. Hope that they save you some money. And if you liked the video, please subscribe, give us a like, and we will see you on the next video.